what's going on, everybody? This is John Jake Gaming on the mic here, coming at you with a brand new episode of the Gore Pirates Dynasty here on NCAA 14, featuring the Oklahoma high school football mod as well. We took our very first loss of the season in the last episode. We are still ranked in this top 10, but we have a difficult opponent coming up here shortly. We're taking on the Millwood Falcons in this episode, and Millwood on paper is very similar. They're a C overall squad. We're a C+ overall team ourselves, but this was a team that was recently ranked in the top 25 before we did end up having to lose out their game as well. They just dropped their second game in the season to Collinsville of all teams. But yeah, tough stretch for us, tough stretch for Millwood as well. This has big 4A sectional implications, so let's see if we can come out here and make some things shake. Hopefully you guys are excited for today's episode though, and if you're excited for it like I am, make sure you go ahead and do me a little bit of a favor. Go ahead and smack that like button for me, hit that subscribe button as well if you happen to be brand new. Let's go ahead and not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and hop right into it. So we actually started off with the football to begin this game, but what also happened was, well, we started the game going free and out. So hopefully this is not a sign of things to come. Millwood, however, is going to come onto the field and is going to hand it off to George Halani. George Halani having a solid season, not a liquid or a gas. That run does carry him over 700 yards on the season. He is currently on pace to go 1,000 yards, but a run like that will not necessarily help him either, as Sean Randolph, who does fill in for Quadir Johnson, he did suffer a serious injury. He's stepping in that linebacker role, and he's playing pretty well early on. He's going to get a nice tackle there. Can we stop a 3rd and 16, though? I would love to see them get off the field as well, but Peters has too much time. He finds Latrell Capples, and Latrell Capples is able to move the sticks after all. Tough break for the Gore Pirates. So now a brand new set of downs for the Millwood Falcons as they'll try to throw over the middle once again, but that will be incomplete. So that makes it 2nd and 10 where they'll try to pass it once again, but it's dropped another time. Having a little bit of butterfingers on the field, as that was why Gore went free and out, had some issues with actually catching the football. As always, it's affecting both sides in a sense. 3rd and 10 coming up though for the Millwood Falcons, as they will try to pass the ball a 3rd time, but that will be broken up. That will indeed be broken up by, I believe, Isaac Smith. But hey, I gotta respect the aggressiveness of Millwood. They are going to go for it early in the game. They are feeling spicy in this one. Dropping back, Peters looks over to right inside. He's got a guy, and it's caught. Latrell Capples in the end zone. Touchdown, Millwood. And the Falcons will take a 7-0 lead. Just an unfortunate one that you hate to see. Just getting burnt on that single coverage. But we do get a studio update, and the Washington Warriors continue their winning ways. They win 38-35. So that makes our conference look a little bit better. So you do like to see that. I would love our offense to look better than what they did on the first drive, though, going free and out the way that they did. And sometimes you just got to keep it a little bit on that simple side. You know, just running up the gut here a little bit. That might help things out a little bit after all. 3rd and 6 coming up, though, as Thompson lines up under shotgun. He's going to throw over to right-hand side for RJ Valencia. And RJ Valencia is going to pick up yet another 1st down on the play. 1st and 10 coming up as they get to about midfield. And Valencia with a wide open hole. Except clearly he is not 100%. Just did not have a lot of acceleration on that particular run. Something to monitor as RJ Valencia surprisingly playing. Remember last episode, he dislocated his shoulder. So I don't know how he's playing, but he's doing it. He is doing it nonetheless. But we might see a little bit more Mark Sasser in the process, though. Speaking of Sasser, he is still in the game, being a decoy as Thompson looks over to the left-hand side and finds Chris Gentry. Chris Gentry making his presence felt. His first catch of the day goes for a gain of 20, as now we have our first red zone opportunity of the ball game. Third and long coming up, though, as Thompson looks to deliver on the red zone opportunity. Trying to throw left for Beef Wellington, but he can't haul it in. And so that means we will end up bringing our field goal unit onto the field. And that will be kicked through by Jake Hills. Jake Hills gets the first points of the game. And we also have a studio update as well. Checking in on how Edmond North is doing. They found themselves down 7-0 to UConn. But we're finding ourselves down by a few points ourselves late in the first quarter of action. We'll see what this Millwood Falcons do on their next drive as Peter looks over the middle and dumps it off to Austin Bold, who, was just sitting in the soft spot of our zone coverage and finds a way to pick up 14 yards because of that. As it seems like early on, Millwood is able to do whatever they want to do here on this particular drive. Just having a hard time generating any kind of momentum defensively. Even if, we shove offensive linemen into the ground, Millwood is still able to move this ball downfield. So that is going to bring an end to their first quarter already. We're down by a few points, though. So, with that being said, we got the second quarter of action underway here as Peters is going to hand it off to McAllister on the jet sweep. And the jet sweep does end up turning out to be pretty effective. We'll pick up a first down on that jet sweep. And then on the very next play, Peters will have some time to dump it off to Egurian. And Tyler Egurian is going to fight through multiple Pirate defenders. And that will make it another touchdown for the Millwood Falcons. Here in the Millwood Stadium, it seems like you could hear that Millwood crowd go crazy. And it's going to be a slow start for the Gore Pirates. That was one of the reasons why we had our first downfall of the season. Could be staring down a losing streak if we are not careful. And we need a spark. Sure enough, we get the spark from our senior corner, Dalton Barrettine. Dalton Barrettine able to get it for a 50-yard scamper. So we will set up shop on Millwood territory as we'll go to work with a play action. Thompson looking around, doesn't like what he sees downfield, so he's going to scramble, has to beat the linebacker. If he does, he's going to find the end zone, and he barely does. Touchdown Pirates, and the freshman quarterback will have a 42-yard scamper to get his Gore Pirates right back into the game after all. Needed that run, we needed a spark, and we got that from a couple of our dynamic players. Because after that, our defense plays a little bit harder. The defense was able to force a 3 and out, so we now have a chance to take the lead, as that is a dot to Beef Wellington. Not an easy throw to make, but he still made it anyways. Just oozing in confidence from our freshman quarterback, especially attempting this throw with the right amount of touch. Quickly falling in love with Joe Mitchell and his catch radius. Joe Mitchell is going to find the end zone. Touchdown Pirates, yet another score. And the Gore Pirates will have their very first lead of the day. And yet we find ourselves with an opportunity to expand our lead even further. We do force Millwood to go 3 and out as they send the blitz. We quickly get it out to Chris Gentry, who does make the grab. And Chris Gentry will have his second catch of the day. His first one also going for 20 yards. And he has the majority of the Gore Pirate receiving yards so far. A couple of plays later, though, as Thompson tries to set up the option, hands it out to RJ Valencia, who's down the sideline. He does return back into the game. He had a little bit of an issue with his shoulder, but he's just a warrior, man. He's dealt with injuries throughout his high school career. And here he still is. He's still standing, going through the rehab, going through the process as Thompson drops back, wants to run for it, and he's going to get it. Oh, he gets the touchdown, but there's a flag. Don't let this be what I think it's going to be. Oh, my goodness. They're going to call a flag on us for that. That's crazy. Ruins a great touchdown run for Tahoma Thompson. Instead, it's first and goal from the 18. Thinks Gentry has a little bit of separation, but doesn't get enough of a break. 39's going to get an interception instead. And so that holding penalty by Jody Gentry does ultimately lead to 7 points being taken off the board. And now Billwood has the chance to take the lead themselves. Second and long coming up for the Millwood Falcons as Peters drops back. He's going to try to scramble to the outside. Gets away from a couple of defenders. And eventually will be brought down. But it looks like Brant Danielson able to make that tackle. But they will go quickly in no huddle. They try to pull a fast one on us, but it's not going to work. That is not going to work on us, big fella. And so we will have the ball again with 50 seconds left to play here in this first half of action. Let's see if Tahoma Thompson can redeem himself. And he does with this throw. Gentry down the sideline. One man left to meet, and he gets the shoestring tackle. Oh, baby, the shoestring tackle does hurt a little bit. But goal line opportunity for your Gore Pirates. We'll throw it to Chris Gentry. And I thought Chris Gentry got in there, but they will mark him down at the 1-inch line. And so we'll have third and goal. Go try to get RJ Valencia to pump it in for us. Pause. And that's going to be a touchdown for your Gore Pirates. The Pirates able to extend their lead 24-14. And we got some halftime updates as well. We're about to go to halftime ourselves. Edmond North is continuing to struggle here. They are losing to UConn 21-7. So that could bring some issues down the line. But hey, first half after a slow start, able to bounce back with 21 unanswered points. You'll love to see it. So let's see if we can finish the deal here in the second half so that we can get back to our winning ways after all. First and 10, and Millwood will start with the football. They're going to start with play action, looking over to the left-hand side, and finds Austin Bolt. Does end up getting out of bounds quickly, but it's a first down for your Gore Pirates. Very next play, though, they're going to hand it off to George Halani, and is met right away by Jamie Fletcher. But our big, burly defensive tackle, well, he gets taken for a little bit of a ride, though. So, because he gets taken for a little bit of a ride, he does pick up 9 yards out of that. But our another defensive lineman will get our get back, though. Samian Simmons is going to knock him back a notch as Samian Simmons just dominates this right guard. Gets off the block, and quarterback just runs right into him. So, great sack by Samian Simmons. And now it's 3rd and 5. Peters in the shotgun. You got 4 wide out on the field. Peters looks over the middle looking for McAllister, but he cannot bring it in, though. So that means that we will see the Millwood Falcons punt the ball away, but they will also get this ball back quickly, though, as we do end up seeing Eric McAllister make yet another catch. Now we're looking at a 2nd and long. Peters going to drop back the pass, looking over to the left-hand side, finds Austin Bolt. Will quickly be brought down by, I believe that might be Austin Price. I'm not 100% sure. I know it's not one of the starters, I don't think. LaQuince Cobb has returned yet. But Millwood putting together a steady drive nonetheless. It's got 1st and 10. As Hulani's going to be quickly brought down by Sean Randolph. Nice job there. Having some good vision and really filling that second level so that they can't really get to that second level necessarily, and creates this 3rd down attempt. And Millwood, well, Millwood has struggled with those 3rd downs themselves. I thought the way that the blocking was, it was going to be a screen, but it was just badly blocked. Sean Randolph was able to get into the backfield, and he was untouched as well. Nobody accounting for 35. So it makes this field goal attempt a little bit more on the interesting side because of it. This is a longer field goal for your average high school kicker, but is going to be able to stroke it through anyways. And because of that longer field goal, Millwood is going to be able to make this just a 1-score game as well. But again, the Gore offense really struggling through this second half. Once again, we find ourselves in a 3 and out. So defense has to come out and make a play. Again, you hate to see it. You hate to see all of this stuff happening right in front of our eyes. And so you wonder if our defense is going to start getting tired. As we are getting into that final quarter, it's a tight game. It is still a very tight game. Going into that final quarter of action, it could literally go in either direction. Something to keep an eye on. But with that said, we got a 3rd and long coming on up. 24-17 is your score. Peters going to move a man out to the right-hand side, looking to have a possible chipping on Chase Henry, but Chase Henry goes out into coverage. Guarding that middle route, does have to go somewhere else with the ball, and now it's 4th down. A key 4th down conversion coming right up. 4th and 3. Peters under center is going to hand it off to George Halani, but George Halani is denied. Nowhere to go, and that will be a turnover on downs. And now the Gore Pirates have a chance, maybe not necessarily put this game away, but, you know, help secure the win. It wouldn't guarantee a win by any means. We've seen crazier things happen in high school and college football as well. Jody Gentry, however, he's been balling out today. Been a favorite target for the freshman quarterback all day. We'll see if we go to him yet again as they send the blitz. Instead, they go to Joe Mitchell, who was far less covered, and still get that same desired result as well. 1st down for the Pirates. 1st and 10 coming up, so look to run the ball with RJ Valencia, who does get dragged from behind. Not great blocking there, I would say, but still picks up a gain of 6 on the play nonetheless. So 2nd and 4 coming up at the same time as Thompson's looking to run this out on the perimeter, and Tahoma Thompson does pick up yet another 1st down. Thompson haven't really doing much with the legs since that 42-yard scamper in the 2nd quarter, but, you know, maybe don't need to, as RJ Valencia, you know, trying to pick up that 1st down on the ground, just trying to play it safe here. Don't want to risk turning the ball over again in the red zone, so we'll send Jake Hills out for the field goal, and the sophomore kicker just makes it true. It's a 10-point game, but this is a game that we are watching very closely. Union and Bartlesville could have some major state implications. So, less than 4 minutes left to play in the ball game as Millwood tries to make a comeback happen in their home stadium. Peters going to start the drive out by dropping back, looks over the middle to King, and the King is going to get his crown. At least on the start of this drive, he'll pick up that 1st down there. Millwood is going to immediately go into their no huddle. They know that the clock is not working in their favor, and we've also struggled with getting into good defensive alignments when we are facing a no huddle, and this is certainly a case of that here. 1st and 10. Peters looks over to the right hand side, quickly finds Capples, who breaks down Dalton Barrettine. Broke him down like a lawn chair. And so now we're looking through a 1st and goal situation. We're going to possibly punch it in. Peters with 3:30 left to play, trying to scramble upfield, and nowhere to go for Andy Peters. It eventually leads to a 3rd and goal situation. Under 3 minutes to go, Peters again finds himself in the shotgun. He's going to move the tight end out to the right-hand side to possibly chip for Chase Henry, but Chase Henry went out into coverage, and so they went to George Halani instead. This could decide the game, however, and they're a little bit farther back than expected because they did have a false start, an untimely false start penalty. So Peters going to have to try to throw over to right-hand side, and George Halani finds the end zone. Touchdown, Falcons. And because they found the end zone, could be seeing that onside kick quickly coming into play now. We'll keep an eye out for that. But they instead decide to go for the 2-point conversion. Bold strategy, Conan. We'll see if it works out for you. They try to run it with George Halani, and nowhere to go because our defensive line was able to close in. And so Millwood's got to go for the onside kick. 2 minutes left in the game, and it's going to be recovered by the hands team. Shout out to Beef Wellington for able to get his hands on that particular ball. And that is going to settle it here. Your Gore Pirates are going to be able to run out what was left on the clock. And because they ran out what was left on that clock, they are going to go ahead and win this one 27-23. And so the Gore Pirates will have a 4-point lead. I was not sure we're going to be able to win that out the way that we started, but I love how we handled the adversity here today. Let's go out and try to avoid these cardiac cat moments the rest of the season, yeah? So it turns into a gutsy win for your Gore Pirates. But now let's go ahead and check out the stats for your individual guys here today. Tahoma Thompson had a decent game today, 12 for 17, 207 yards passing, touchdown, and an interception. But most of the damage was done on the ground, in my opinion, though. At least for Tahoma Thompson, he had that 42-yard touchdown run. RJ Valencia was also able to get over 100 yards on the ground to go with it. As for the receivers today, I mean, we were just living in Jody Gentry's world. Jody Gentry's world was 6 catches for 144 yards. He was borderline unguardable. However, it was Joe Mitchell that had that diving touchdown. The senior had 2 catches for 37 yards today. And then defensively, not our best defensive effort, but we certainly did enough. Had a couple of guys step up today. Porter Lindstrid and Brent Danielson led the team in total tackles today. But Sean Randolph, the freshman, the guy that I did not expect to see play much all year, well, he gets his first appearance of the season, makes the most of the opportunity. 5 tackles, 3 TFLs, gets a sack as well. Just a guy that took advantage of the opportunity that was laid out in front of him. So, honorable mention for player of the game has to go to Sean Randolph, because that was his first time playing varsity football in his life. Meanwhile, we have a couple of other guys getting this quarterback, because, man, we got some sacks today. Samian Simmons had multiple sacks, as did Chase Henry. Porter Lindstrid was also able to get a sack. However, there was no turnovers today. But I liked how we performed, especially after we went through those first quarter and a half. First quarter and a half was not so nice, but we got better as the game went along. Good win overall by the Pirates, a gutsy one on the road. But now this actually just leaves us with a couple of more games before we get into postseason action. If we get the opportunity to have postseason action, not always a given in high school football, that's for sure. We are 9-1 going into the final couple of games, and we should have a tune-up against Sapulpa, but anything could happen on any given Friday night, especially when you have a bunch of 14 to 17-year-olds on a football field at the same time. There's a lot more variability, and we saw that in the last couple of games as well. We are not immune to having a letdown by any means. So with that being said, we got to have that in mind and just come out and start stronger in the future. But a good win here yet today. With that being said, I'll leave this game and maybe another game happening in the next episode. If you enjoyed today's content though, make sure you go ahead and smack that like button. Hit that subscribe button as well if you do have to be brand new to the channel. This is John J Gaming on the mic signing off, but hoping you guys are all out there having a good one. Take care, everybody.